Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I did it. I remembered how I opened an episode.
Was that an issue last time?
Yes. Several times since the new year has started.
Wow, you were gone too long. You forgot everything.
I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club. The show that this show is.
That was the police coming to put a stop to our nonsense.
Was there a siren? I didn't hear it.
There sure was.
I couldn't hear it. But maybe the audience could. Play this theme song that I found.
What the hell did I just watch?
Final Fantasy Unlimited.
I don't believe that.
Why not?
Because that was the dumbest, weirdest thing I've ever watched.
What, did you see the Chocobo?
Yeah.
See, it's Final
Fantasy. The bird
Fantasy.
of happiness?
It's Final Fantasy.
Sure, okay.
What's your personal history with Final Fantasy?
I started playing Final Fantasy a million years ago because my brother had a Super Nintendo emulator, and I played 6 that way, and I also played 5. And then I just kind of picked up random ones since then. I haven't officially played any of the 3D ones. I played for my brother when he got grounded one time, and he let me raise his Chocobos. Other than that, it's mostly just been like the tactics is.
I think the only Final Fantasy I've ever finished is 7, but I didn't finish it at the time. 7 was the first one I played. I think it was the first one that really got big here because most of the earlier ones I don't think actually released in Europe.
Oh.
I don't think we actually got 6 on the Super Nintendo. So I remember 7 being the first one that I heard about. And I played it at a friend's house for a while, didn't get very far, partly because I was playing it at a friend's house and it's hard to finish a 40-hour game at a friend's house.
Yeah.
And partly because that friend's disc was scratched, so you would get to a certain point and you just couldn't go any further.
That's tragic.
But I finally finished it while I was at uni. Must have been just over 10 years ago now that I finished Final Fantasy VII. That's the only one I finished. I've played 6 to almost the end. And I've played a decent amount of 9, which is my favourite one, even though I've never actually come close to finishing it.
That was the one where I had to play for my brother. I had no idea what the story was. He was like 3 discs in, and he's just like, go do this.
Yeah, I think that's it. I had Crystal Chronicles as well, the first Crystal Chronicles, which I like.
I forgot. I played the DS Crystal Chronicles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only played the GameCube one, where you had to use a Game Boy Advance as a controller.
That's wacky wild.
Play it with your friends. It was fun though. I wanted to get the remake of it, but when I found out that you can't play the remake like cross region, I lost all interest.
Yeah, that was a really stupid decision.
Yeah, because I would have wanted to play it with you. but
Yeah.
we weren't allowed to play it together. So I was like, all right, you don't get my money then, Square. Idiots. Because that would have been at least 2 sales right there, me and you buying it. Like, how many other people didn't buy it for that reason? Probably thousands.
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot of people who bought it and then found out that they can't play it and then returned it. But I guess a returned game is still money for Square. I think it's only the store that loses out.
So this was all by design because Square still wins.
So, Final Fantasy, the original, released in 1987 for the NES, the original Nintendo console. Oh, I guess the color TV game or whatever was the original, but shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about color TV game.
I care.
You ever played it?
No.
You ever seen it?
No.
You ever heard of it before right now?
No.
Yeah, I knew it.
That's why I care.
We're not talking about Nintendo, we're talking about Square, who made this game.
Okay.
The game was created by Hironobu Sakaguchi. Oh, actually, let's say right up front, I kind of realized that we had never talked about Final Fantasy on this show, and I was shocked.
They don't have a lot of, things for us to watch other than Advent Children.
They do. There's loads. There's
I've never heard of them.
There's at least 2 TV shows. There's a whole bunch of short films and movies. We've just never looked at any of them. We've looked at Final Fantasy adjacent stuff. We've looked at Chrono Trigger, we've looked at Blue Dragon, we've looked at Kingdom Hearts.
I have a weird relationship with Final Fantasy where
me too.
I like it, but not in the way that I seek it out and want to play every single game in the series.
I like the early ones.
Yeah.
Well, not even the early one. I like the mid one. I like the 16-bit ones. And I like the PlayStation ones.
I like the ones where you can have a job.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more later, but I also have a complicated relationship with Final Fantasy.
I like their flagship monsters.
It was created by Hironobu Sakaguchi, who we've talked about before because he also created Blue Dragon after he left Square.
Oh yeah.
He had wanted to make an RPG for a while, but Square wouldn't let him because they didn't think an RPG would sell.
What fools.
Yeah, they changed their mind after they saw Enix's success with Dragon Quest. Because Dragon Quest blew up real big.
Yeah, we looked at that.
We did. Final Fantasy was heavily inspired by Dungeons & Dragons and Ultima and Wizardry. Koichi Ishii was the one who had the idea of the crystals, the elemental crystals, which heavily influenced the direction of the game. And kind of the whole series. I feel like they moved away from the crystals around the PlayStation, but I still think of the crystals as being a very important part of Final Fantasy in general.
Yeah.
Ishii also suggested Yoshitaka Amano, an illustrator outside of the company, to be the character designer. And apparently Sakaguchi said no because he wasn't familiar with the name. But then later on, Sakaguchi was showing Ishii magazine clippings of the kind of style he wanted for the art, and they were Amano's work. So Ishii was like, this is the guy I recommended.
Glad we're on the same page.
There's a very popular story about the game being named Final Fantasy because Sakaguchi was going to quit or Square was going to go bankrupt if it flopped. And those stories apparently came from Nobuo Uematsu, the music composer. But it turns out that's not really true.
Turns out there's a lot of Final Fantasies.
Well, no, but it was never true that was going to be the last one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I've always thought that was a true story because it came from Uematsu. And I was like, well, I kind of know what you're talking about, right? But
he's just out here telling fanciful lies.
Yeah, apparently Sakaguchi has said since that although they were in a tough situation developing the game, the real reason it's called Final Fantasy is because he wanted the title to abbreviate to FF.
Why?
And I don't know why, but that's just, he really wanted that. And any word starting with the letter F would have been just fine. So it could have been called anything. Could have been called Friendship Fantasy.
I'm glad it wasn't.
Or Farty Fantasy.
Yeah, you would go there, wouldn't you?
Or I can't think of anything.
Good one.
Football fantasy.
Football fantasy. No, that's Final Fantasy X.
So the game was a huge success, and it spawned many, many sequels, remakes, and spin-offs. I will not count them.
No, please don't.
I know that the main series is up to its 16th numbered title, but that's all I know. I don't know how many Crystal Chronicles there are. I don't know how many Chocobo games there are. I don't know how many Tacticses there are. But there's a lot.
I believe there's 3 Tacticses.
Are you including the remake?
No.
Then there's
It's
at least
the same
4.
thing, so I'm not. That's the same game. They just gave them voices.
And the graphics are better, right?
Yeah, I just wouldn't count it as a separate title.
I would, because it has a separate title.
Stupid.
But we're here to talk about Final Fantasy Unlimited, which began airing on TV Tokyo on October 2nd, 2001, the exact very same day that Scrubs aired for the first time in America.
Why is that the fun fact?
I don't know, it's just the only one I could find. It's interesting.
I think we should have watched Scrubs instead of this.
Now, if anybody ever asks you, what do Final Fantasy Unlimited and Scrubs have in common, you'll know the answer. Except you're going to forget this.
If I had a dime for every time somebody asked me that question.
You don't know what kind of trivia you're going to need to know to save your life someday. You don't know what could happen.
I suppose that's true.
Is there a Batman villain who kills people if they don't know trivia questions? Because that's perfect. Credit me, DC Comics, if you steal that one. So this show isn't directly connected to any game in the series. It was developed alongside the movie Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. It was planned as a 52-episode series, but they cut it down to 25 episodes after The Spirits Within flopped.
Oh.
There were also plans for a game series to tie into it, but only 2 games were actually released. One was a mobile phone RPG adaptation of the show's plot, and the other was a PC visual novel set in the game's universe, but not following. Set in the show's universe, rather, but not following its exact plot.
That sounds bad.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. They were both only released in Japan, so...
Oh.
Show was produced by Gonzo, a studio formed of previous stuff from
Muppets?
Gainax. You wish.
Oh.
You wish they were Muppets.
I do.
The whole show animated by Muppets, and it's not about the Muppets.
And it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, we've seen Gonzo's work before because they did that Tower of Druaga show that we watched.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, Gonzo backed away from animation after 2020 to focus on producing NFTs.
Oh.
I wonder how that's going.
Wah wah.
So this episode is called Wonderland Journey into the Darkness, and it's written by Atsuhiro Tomioka, whose work we've seen quite a bit of in the past.
Yeah?
Yeah, he wrote Ash Catches a Pokemon and Clefairy and the Moonstone in the Pokemon TV show. He also wrote the first Johto episode, so we've watched all of those.
Okay.
And he wrote the first episode of Ace Attorney as well,
Oh,
which we've also watched.
we have.
So we're fairly familiar with his work. I would say this is the worst of them that we've seen.
I would have to agree.
The show starts with a tiny little snippet of the Final Fantasy main theme, which will be our only indication for quite some time that this is a Final Fantasy show.
Don't get it twisted. We're not about to watch real Final Fantasy.
Because we're on Sado Island, a real-life island in the Sea of Japan. Why are we here? I don't know.
For some kaiju to show up.
There's some kind of sailor man listening to a radio and it cuts out while he's trying to listen to the sports. And his attention gets caught by this glowing black-purple pillar that appears in the sky off the coast. And there's all these scientists picking up seismic activity, freaking out. There's people all over the island that can see this thing out in the ocean. They're all just staring at it. And we're introduced, well, not really introduced to them, but we see two scientists, a man and a woman. He rushes out to meet her. She's using some kind of camera or telescope or something to look at the light pillar.
She's doing science.
Yeah. The guy's name is Joe Hayakawa. He's played by Takumi Yamazaki, who was the Japanese voice of young Ocelot in the Metal Gear series.
Oh.
He also played Loki in Bayonetta 2 and Peony in Tales of the Abyss. And he's Wise Man in Dot Hack and Yata in Dot Hack GU. And I don't know how this is pronounced, but it's like Lemres in Puyo Puyo. Any Puyo Puyo fans, I'm assuming you know how it's pronounced, but I don't. In English, Joe is played by Brendan Walsh, who hasn't done a lot. He's in one episode of Malcolm in the Middle.
What?
He's in one episode of So Little Time. And he's in one episode of 30 Rock. And, this is about the level of familiarity we're going to have with the most of the English voice cast.
Okay.
They're mostly extras in live action things. And not many of them. But cool. Mary, the woman that he's out here with, is played in Japanese by Yuko Minaguchi, who is the voice of Videl in Dragon Ball and Momiji in Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden. I nearly said Gaiden. God, what's wrong with me? And in English, she's played by Katie Gillette, who has done almost nothing else.
Her one breakout role was Final Fantasy, whatever this is.
She played Sarah in Fist of the North Star and Reiko No. 2 in Wedding Peach, and that's literally it. That's her entire IMDb.
Good for her.
So Joe's telling Mary to go back inside because she's too pregnant to look at this pretty light pillar.
Right.
But right then the pillar grows some kind of like branch, and then that glows bright white, and an early 2000s 3D monster emerges from it.
Oh, it's real hard to look at.
It's real hard to look at. It's got some like organic and mechanical features.
Organical, if you will.
Yeah, it's got a gun for a head, and it's got eyes all over its pecs. It's weird.
It's a weird design.
Yeah, and it would probably be better to look at if they hadn't made it 3D.
Yeah.
This was that period where everybody wanted to put 3D things in their shows, but nobody knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't good enough to do most things.
We can't have it on screen for longer than 30 seconds.
I think the only thing from this period that really did 3D well was Futurama, and it's because they only used it for the ships.
Right.
Which was fine.
Because, that's supposed to look like a ship.
Yeah. So there's a ton of military vehicles attacking this creature with all their firepower suddenly. No attempt to communicate, just immediately shooting at it. It wipes them all out easily with purple darkness beams from its mouth, nose?
Face
area. It has a gun for a face, so it's like, I don't know, whatever. I feel like, fair enough.
Gun for a face, you do you.
The humans attacked first. They just shot it because it was angry. Because it was ugly, I mean.
I mean, that's a pretty good reason.
Yeah.
Big ugly gun face shows up out of a world crevice.
But maybe it was just looking for Starbucks.
I don't think that that's true.
Well, luckily, another whiter creature appears, and the two of them fire beams at each other, and they pierce each other, and they both, I guess, explode. And then a weird eyeball appears on screen and makes this silly noise that made me laugh.
It was a creepy eyeball, but it was a little bit too silly to take seriously.
Yeah, and, I got no idea what's happening.
No, none at all.
No, and that...
And it doesn't become any clearer.
So now we're introduced to Fabula, our guide to Wonderland.
Fabula?
Yeah, I don't know. They pronounced it Fabula in the dub. So I'm going with that.
Oh.
But yeah, it sure does look...
I don't like that as much.
It sure does seem like it should be Fabula.
I would respect her more if her name was pronounced Fabula, because this is the most extra bitch I have ever seen. Floating in a magic clamshell.
Yeah. She's played by Kikuko Inoue, who we already know.
Do we?
Yeah, she's the voice of Jodie Summer in the F-Zero anime.
Oh.
And she was also Lady Uranus in Battle Arena Toshinden.
Oh.
In English, she's played by Claire Hamilton, who I think is the only English voice in this whole show that we've heard before.
Yeah?
Claire Hamilton was the voice of Anna in Tekken.
Oh.
So she's the only English voice in this show that we already know. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here with Fabula, but there's something very Nights into Dreams about it.
Yeah.
About this whole situation.
She keeps gabbing about Wonderland.
Yeah. Like Balan!
No! That's Wonder World.
You're right.
You correct me every single time, and now you're the one who's made the fool.
Well, I always get it wrong. I only know it's wrong when you get it wrong.
You exist just to correct me.
I whenever you say it, I'm like, the only way I know which one's correct is because I know that you said the wrong one. So whatever you said, I'm like, okay, it must be the other one.
What if I start saying, what if I get it right?
Well, then we'll both be in trouble.
I guess so.
Because I'll be correcting you still, and you won't even know enough to know that I'm the one that's wrong.
Then everybody loses. Except for Balin.
Yeah, I wonder what he's up to these days.
Nothing. Dead in a hole.
Oh yeah, his creator's in jail.
For making Balin Wonderworld.
That's not true. I think Oshima was the creator of Balan, and he's fine. It's Yuji Naka.
Well, he should be in jail.
I don't know if Yuji Naka's in jail, actually. Last I checked, he was, like, going to jail, but hadn't gone yet. But who knows, maybe something happened.
On my way to jail.
I was pardoned of all charges. Yeah, I'm not up to date on the Yuji Naka situation. Anyway, apparently it's been 12 years since what Fabula calls the Pillar of Darkness of Chaos first appeared.
Of darkness of chaos.
Yeah, like,
that's a little bit too much.
Pick an adjective, lady.
You can't just stack them to the heavens.
Standing here in your giant clam. So I think we're back on Sado Island now, but I don't know, from what I read about Sado Island, I don't know if it's big enough to have a subway, and this place has a subway, so I don't know.
But it seems to be some type of ghost subway.
That is true. But I feel it's definitely like a shut down subway, an abandoned subway, but I don't know that Sado Island is big enough that it ever would have had a subway. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I didn't see anything about it having a subway. But anyway, it's been 12 years that people are running tour ships to the Pillar of Darkness to look at it, because I guess it's just still there.
Yeah, it appears to be.
But the tour ships have been cancelled lately because ships have started disappearing.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle.
We're hearing this from these two children who are talking about it as they run to the subway tunnels to sneak in. They think the pillar is connected to Wonderland. They talk about their parents being able to make it back from there once. I don't know. This was all presented in a very confusing way, I thought.
Yeah.
These two kids are Ai Hayakawa and Yu Hayakawa. So their names are I and Yu.
Cool.
You and I.
Yeah.
Is the correct grammar.
It's us. We're the twins.
Ai is played by Haruko Momoi, who seems to be best known for playing Faris in Steins Gate. That's not the one we watched, is it?
No, we watched Chaos Head.
That's right, okay. She also played Momo in Akiba's Trip.
We haven't watched that yet. I played the second one.
Right.
I didn't play the first one. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know. My entry into that series was in the middle, and I had no idea what was going on.
I just remember you sending me videos from it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember what. I think I put some of those videos on the end of some of our old YouTube videos, actually.
I forgot about that. I
Yeah.
forgot we ever did that.
Yeah, that was a time in our life.
That was a dark time.
They're still up, all those YouTube videos. If anybody listening to this,
No, don't tell them where it is.
it's on my YouTube channel. It's not hard to find. But what did we do? We did like Terraria and Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, because like everything else we tried to record, we couldn't. Something always went wrong.
Yeah. We did some Payday. Payday 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was
we
rough.
are not good at that
We
game.
are bad at that game. We had a bad time. But yeah, most of our very first time playing Terraria was recorded and is on YouTube. I don't even remember what else.
I don't want to remember.
No. Anywai, in English, I is played by Jessica Swartz, who I think was just a genuine little girl. Apparently, she played the little girl that was with Jack in the Tekken OVA that we watched. But for the most part, she's just done cameos and unnamed characters. She makes single episode appearances in Tim and Eric, The Leftovers, and American Crime. And then there's you.
Me!
Played by Yuka Imai, best known as the voice of Renamon in Digimon Tamers, which is why I was posting about being annoyed at IMDb.
Oh.
Because anyone who follows me over on Blue Sky may have seen it, but I get so annoyed with what IMDb is doing with Japanese titles right now. Because it doesn't call it Digimon Tamers. It calls it Digimon Temazu, spelled out in English letters. And I'm like, why? It's called Digimon Tamers.
No, you have to say it with the accent.
It just reminds me of that time when I was talking to somebody about Sonic, and they were like, no, it's pronounced Soniku. And I was like,
Shirba the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I can't. It's Digimon Tamers. They called it that in English words in Japan.
No.
It makes it tough to find stuff on IMDb now because you can't just like Control F and type in the name of something. You have to
phonetically spell it out.
Yeah. And it just feels a little bit racist. It's like the equivalent of writing everything in a racist Japanese accent. Anyway, she also played Rutri in the Tales of series and Rouge in Mega Man Zero. That's not Rouge the Bat, that's Mega Man Rouge.
Would have expected it to be the Bat, just for you to find the one Sonic everywhere.
I don't think there's any Sonic connections in this show, actually.
Good. Then maybe it's my favorite show.
Huh.
No, it's so bad.
In English, Yu is played by Evan Slack, who I think, again, was a real small child based on the acting. He did very little else. He was the voice of Kazuhiko in Magical Play and Ryonosuke in Moeyo Ken. I don't know what either of those are, really. But
no.
I had seen Magical Play before. I recognized characters from it, but I haven't watched it. I've just seen characters from it around on the internet.
Right.
So these kids are waiting for the train, giving us some exposition. But it's like not good exposition.
It's really vague.
It's so vague and very repetitive. We're told like 50 times that they're looking for their parents, but we're never told why.
Right. They've disappeared. That's...
Like, I guess they think that they went to Wonderland, but we're never told why they think that.
I guess just because they studied it and like published a book about it.
I guess, but they've been there and come back before. So why wouldn't they this time?
I don't know, because these are kids and they don't think good.
Well, anyway, the train shows up that they're waiting for.
It's a spooky ghost train.
Yeah, it's got like eyes. I thought it was pretty cool.
I did like when it first pulls up and it just gazes at them with a big monster eyeball.
Yeah, and then it opens up a door for them to get on.
That was the best part of this whole show.
It's really hard to see, but after they get on the train, there's a shadowy figure that gets on after them.
Oh.
It's like impossible to see it. and I'm watching it on my big HD screen, so it would have been even more impossible to see it on a CRT at the time.
Right.
I really had to squint. I like watched it back twice and I was like, did I see that or did I imagine it? But it does happen.
I'm trying to watch it too, but this show wastes so much time saying absolutely nothing.
I know. Let me know if you see it.
I sure don't.
No?
Oh, wait, no, I saw it.
It's so hard to see, right?
Yeah, it lingers on that scene for a long time. I'm like, what am I looking at? And then it's just this...
That's exactly why I was looking for something.
Right.
Because I was like, why does it stay on this shot for so long if nothing happens?
Because that's been this whole show so far.
So inside the train, it looks like a pretty normal train, except there's no windows. And the kids are talking about how their parents must have got on this train too. Someone else is on the train. This must be the shadowy figure that got on behind them. She's using her cell phone to update someone on her whereabouts. She's got my favorite type of cell phone. I miss these phones. These flip phones. I've only ever had one phone that I was emotionally attached to. And it was my Motorola Razr. I loved that thing. I kept it for way too long.
I've never had such strong feelings about a phone, so I'm glad that you really felt something from this show.
I think I still have that phone somewhere, but yeah.
I wonder if I still have my old phone. Probably not.
It was the first phone I ever picked out for myself. And I think the only phone I ever picked out for myself, really, because every phone I've had since has just been like, yeah, give me whatever's in the contract and isn't an iPhone. You know?
Right.
Anyway, this woman is Lisa Pacifist. What?
Okay.
You find something funny about the name Lisa Pacifist?
I sure do. I sure do. That's not a real last name.
She's played by Kyoko Hikami, who we know as the voice of Alice in Battle Arena Toshinden.
Is that the little clown girl?
Yeah, I think so. We didn't see a
That's
lot of
the
her.
only thing I remember about Battle Arena Toshinden.
In English, she's played by Sean Sides, which is an interesting name.
Yeah.
She played Reiko in Wedding Peach. I guess that's Reiko number 1, since someone else was Reiko number 2 earlier. She was Ketchup in Magical Play and Mimosa in King of Bandit Jing, which I've never heard of.
A lot of names she has.
Yeah, mostly food.
Lisa Pacifist, Ketchup, Mimosa.
So the kids notice Lisa and confront her. She didn't seem to know they were there. I thought she was following them at first, but I guess it's a coincidence.
Yeah, she just got on at the same time.
Yeah. At first she thinks they're the ghosts that live on the train.
Apparently that's a thing. They never talk about it again.
Yeah, it doesn't come up again. So the kids give us more exposition, but it also leads me to more questions than answers.
Yeah.
They're going to Wonderland to search for their parents. Their parents apparently wrote a book called The Day of Conjunction, which is about the day the pillar appeared. And in the book, their dad says that the Pillar of Darkness is connected to Wonderland. Lisa knows this book, so she realizes these must be the kids of Professor Hayakawa, the famous researcher of Wonderland physics. The book mentions that their parents got there on the subway, and the kids went on the internet, I guess, and found out that a train appears at 13 seconds past 13 minutes past midnight on the night of a full moon. That's just information you can find on the internet.
Listen, that's not even the part that surprises me, because the amount of internet rituals, like the elevator game or whatever else that they've come out with, like, it could have been anything. These kids are just doing whatever. They'll find any old internet ritual and be like, yeah, this will probably get us to Wonderland. How many of these do you think they've successful or completed and just not?
Oh, they're just on like the creepypasta wiki?
Yeah.
Well, I guess wikis didn't exist back then.
They're just on a forum where people are posting these internet rituals pretending they're real, like our no sleep.
Yeah. I is very suspicious of Lisa for some reason.
Immediately.
She's doing that Japanese puffed up cheeks thing.
I mean, I guess it would be a little weird to see somebody else on a phantom train to another dimension, but...
Yeah. But, like, I don't know.
They're also children.
I didn't understand exactly what her problem was.
I think that's just her problem in general.
She's trying to steal my brother and make him her brother.
They can't be twins.
Suddenly the train falls, I guess. When it stops falling, they look outside and they see, I don't know what they see. It didn't make really any visual sense to me.
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's not just me.
They're like in a void, and then there's like this giant spiral staircase.
But there's like a structure around the train?
First
I don't know.
the structure. That's what got me so confused because I was trying to parse this structure, and then there's a spiral staircase around it.
Yeah, I didn't even see the spiral staircase in that first shot. It was only when they started talking about the spiral staircase that I was like, oh yeah, there's one.
Yeah, I guess, if you say so.
So anyway, they go up this giant spiral staircase leading up and continue their conversation. Not that they say anything, useful or relevant.
No information is told to us.
No, there really isn't. And then finally they emerge from what looks like the giant monkey head from Monkey Island.
Yeah.
And they're in what seems to be a park at a Japanese apartment complex, but the sky's all fucked up.
It's like when you successfully complete the elevator ritual, and now you're in another world.
I don't know the elevator ritual. What is this?
You are supposed to get on an elevator and press floors in a certain sequence. And then, of course, there are things where it's like, if the train randomly stops at this thing and somebody gets on, don't look at them. I don't think that's exactly what it is. But, there's always some, if this happens, here are the rules to continue going. And then, I think it's supposed to put you in, another world if you do it successfully. And it's it looks identical to our world, except there's, a big red cross in the distance.
Okay. Yeah, you walks up to the slide in the park and touches it, and it explodes into flies.
And now they're just somewhere else.
No, they're in the same place.
Are they? I got extremely confused because now it's this gross building with bug people inside of it.
No, so what happens is they find out that the park equipment is actually just flies.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes into one of the apartment complex buildings and finds that they're actually huge trees in the shape of apartment complex buildings.
Okay.
That part I understood, but it is weird.
The scene transition is so jarring, I couldn't follow it.
Yeah, she's inside the building now. But yeah, the inside of the building, it's all organic. It's not an actual building. It's some kind of organic tree structure. And she finds a family of giant bugs in there eating at a dinner table. And, that's just kind of not important.
No.
But you finds a chocobo.
For some reason. To let us know that this is Final Fantasy, in case you forgot.
Which I did.
I sure did too.
He offers it some chocolate. And I scolds him for it, because that's their food rations. And the chocobo chomps on one of her pigtails, and we get a little panic scene. With the Chocobo theme song playing, just to let us know that this is Final Fantasy.
Just to let us know what it could have been.
Oh yeah? You want more of this kind of thing?
I want a real Chocobo in a real Final Fantasy.
Well,
not whatever this is.
Oh, I will tell you now that this Chocobo is one of the major characters of the show.
Okay.
His name is Chobi. He's played by Akiko Yajima, the original voice of Crayon Shin-chan.
Adorable.
She also played Lecter in Fairy Tail and Annie Bars in the Tales of series. In English, Chobi is played by Samantha Inoue Hart, who is apparently an animator, which is something that she learned to do while she was romantically involved in some way with Don Bluth.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, she was one of the most interesting of the English voice cast. She was an animator on King of the Hill.
Good show.
She worked on Shark Boy and Lava Girl. She worked on Lilo and Stitch 2. And she worked on A Scanner Darkly.
Wow.
And she's been additional voices in lots of things, but it was the animation stuff that I thought was more interesting. So you recognizes the Chocobo as being one of the birds of happiness in their parents' book. I sort of thought, I don't know, maybe this is what's happening, but I kind of thought that they were going to come up with the name Chocobo because of the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to give it some chocolate and it was going to love it, and they were like, let's call it a Chocobo for the chocolate. You know?
It's so dumb.
But, well, that doesn't happen, at least not yet. The Chocobo runs away, and Yu chases after it, but he trips over an outstretched leg on the ground and finds a man just sort of partially grown into the wall of the tree.
Yeah, we got our cool, edgy, dark character who can't remember good.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he is. He's looking for someone that he calls a scoundrel, but he's forgotten his own name. Spoiler alert, his name is Kaze, which is Japanese for wind.
Whoa, he's so cool.
He is played by Nobutoshi Kana, who we know for two things. For one, he was Gengar in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That's Team Meanie's Gengar specifically.
Oh, I know what team he's from.
And he's also your crush.
Knuckles?
He's Knuckles. I'm glad you knew who I was referring to.
It took me a second. I was like, who would Mike think was my crush? Oh.
You never shut up about Knuckles.
Well, you never shut up about Sonic. I have to put a better thought in my head whenever you get going about him.
Yeah, I know. And then Knuckles shows up with the soft focus lens. Sakura petals fluttering in the wind.
Well, it's either that or just listen to you say Sonic the Hedgehog over and over again, and I don't want to.
That is how most of our conversations go. In English, Kaze is played by James Brownlee. I forgot that I wrote these things down, but I wrote down a few things that I liked from his filmography.
Okay.
He played violent artist in Perils in Nude Modeling. He played the narrator in The Most Pathetic Man in the World.
Okay.
And then one that you're familiar with already. He played Daryl in Never Do This, Fire Fart.
I'm only familiar with that because you sent it to me.
Yeah, right. Everyone
with no
knows.
context.
Everyone knows.
I was minding my own business, trying to get some fishing done, and you sent me that because I assumed you were downloading it.
No. I was
to watch for later.
No, I didn't watch it. Did you?
No, I was fishing and turning into a velociraptor.
Let's not give any context to that. I think it's better that way. So there's something that looks like a vehicle flying overhead. Lisa doesn't think there's anything human about it.
I didn't think anybody would have thought there was something human about a vehicle.
Well, I mean, she doesn't think there's a human in it. I don't think it's a vehicle. I think it's a creature.
Yeah, it is, but they thought it was a vehicle.
Because it, like, baths a crystal out of a gross mouth full of teeth.
That's something that you do all the time.
I've never bathed a crystal.
You don't need to be coy.
I do have a gross mouth full of teeth, but that's different. So Lisa thinks that it's a bomb, this crystal falling towards them, so she tells everybody to run. But the tree guy can't run, he's all tied up in roots. But it's okay, because it's not a bomb. It's a, I guess, mushroom egg.
It's just a giant freak mushroom for some reason.
Yeah, a giant freak mushroom comes out. I went to look up whether this was like a Final Fantasy enemy, but I don't think it is.
I can't confirm or deny, but I ain't never seen him before.
The wiki just calls it a mushroom creature, so I don't think it's anything. It attacks them. It's making some funny noises. But Lisa uses some kind of like magic to block its attacks and throw the monster away in the distance. I just don't know.
I watched this a few hours ago, and I already forgot that this happened because this is the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Because there's something I think much more nonsensical coming up, but...
I mean, there's a lot. Like, this whole sequence going forward, I could tolerate the first half of this, but once the mushroom showed up, then I was gone. I was done. It's like, what am I watching?
So apparently Lisa is using Kigen arts. She says they're like martial arts, but that's all the information we get about that. But then the mushroom gets back up, and now he's transformed into a bigger, weirder thing.
He reminded me of the Trudge.
He does look a little bit like the Trudge, now that you mention it. but he doesn't have the armor or the thing that he's great. We're talking about the Trudge from the game Repo, by the way.
He's not as cool as the Trudge. He's just a big, weird, naked, spindly mushroom.
Yeah, his head is like opened up, and now he's got his eyeballs on a tentacle now instead of being in a mushroom.
And he has a cod piece on.
Yeah, he does. So they run away because he's a freak, and they get chased off a cliff, and then they just kind of like hang there helpless until Kaze shows up. And his arm is in some kind of golden like thing. I honestly don't know if I can even adequately describe what happens now.
His arm is gun, and then gun is in hand.
Yeah, at first I thought he had like a Mega Buster, like Mega Man. But then it kind of just like vanishes away, and then a regular gun just kind of gets 3D rendered into his hand in post.
He's using the power of the soil.
He says,
or whatever.
yeah, he says, "Soil, my power," and then the gun he's holding now, it kind of looks like the head of the monster from the beginning. And then he says, the Magun has thawed. And I'm like, sorry, what?
From this point on, it's 3 minutes of him winding up his gun attack, and it's a waste of my life, and I hated it.
Yeah, he tells the monster that he's decided which soil to use on him. The origin of all things, Mother Black.
And he like loads around into his gun.
Yeah, so this is why I struggle with Final Fantasy in general. He's just saying things.
Yeah. But you say that, but like this is not really typical of Final Fantasy.
It's typical of later Final Fantasy.
Maybe. I haven't seen much of the later ones.
Who's the Kingdom Hearts guy? I can't think of his name.
Sora?
No.
The guy who made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either.
Nomura. Tetsuya Nomura.
Right.
Ever since he has been like the big name at Final Fantasy, it has all been this. It has all been this.
Just pure nonsense.
Yeah. I can't speak for Final Fantasy X because I haven't actually played it. People keep telling me that they think I'd like it, but I don't know. But I think this is basically like from the early 2000s onwards, I think this is what Final Fantasy has all been. I think Final Fantasy IX was the last one that wasn't like this. That's from the outside looking in, as someone who hasn't played many of these games, that's the impression I've gotten. Like, I don't know what's happening right now in this show, and that's how I felt about everything I've seen of Final Fantasy for the past 26 years.
Right.
So he pulls out some kind of black cartridge and loads it into the gun, and then he pulls out a red one that he calls Fire Red. And at this point, I'm like, is he going to pull out a green one and call it Leaf Green? But he didn't.
Yeah.
He pulled out a gold one and he called it Burning Gold. And then he fires the gun. While he's firing the gun, he yells that he's summoning Phoenix. And I'm like, what? So I thought maybe like a Phoenix was going to come out of the gun, but it doesn't. It's 3 beams in the colors of the cartridges, and they converge on the monster. And at first it seems like they don't do anything, but then the monster like painfully inflates and explodes, revealing the ugliest Phoenix I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Which flies straight up into the sky and shatters a hole in it and flies through the hole in the sky, and then the hole heals up.
Yeah, what didn't you understand?
And that's the end of it.
That's the end of the episode.
The Final Fantasy victory theme plays just so that the show is like, it's Final Fantasy, by the way.
Just to insult us.
Like, it's nonsense.
It's pure garbage.
It's absolute nonsense.
I didn't understand a single thing that happened this entire time.
For some reason, Yu knows that this is Kaze now. He's like, that's Kaze.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And then Kaze's like, yes, I am. I'm like, what?
I remember now, yep.
And then we see the owner of the creepy eye from the beginning. He's watching from the distance, and he's dressed like a mime clown.
Mime clown.
And he says unlimited. And that's the end.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen with my 2 eyeballs.
It's really funny, but it's not trying to be.
Right.
Like,
the wrong kind of funny.
This is like a parody of it's like this is what parents must think when they see their children watching Pokemon, you know? Where people parody things and they're like saying all the stuff that the parents don't understand. Except nobody understands this because it's not even based on anything.
It's not meant to be understood.
Because if that whole like gun loading sequence, if that was a gameplay mechanic and that's how it worked, I could be like, yeah, like it's clunky, but they've tried their best to translate the gameplay mechanic to the screen here. But this isn't even based on a gameplay mechanic. They made it up for this.
Nobody's ever done that.
They made it up for this, and that's what it's like.
They chose the most confusing thing ever.
The only way this makes sense to me is if the person who wrote it tried one of the Final Fantasy games and didn't get it at all and was like, yeah, this is what it's like. Whatever.
I don't want to play this anymore. I'm making my own Final Fantasy.
Anyway, the guy with the eye, I forgot. His name is Oscha, apparently. Oscha? Oscha? I don't know. He's played by Koji Ishii, who we know as the voice of Mujo in Bomberman Jetters.
Which one was that?
I'm trying to remember whether Mujo was the main villain or whether he was like the secondary villain with the Seinfeld theme.
I forgot about the Seinfeld theme.
I think he might have been the Seinfeld theme guy. He was the Seinfeld theme guy.
Okay. What's the deal with soil?
In English, Oscha is played by Brian Jepson, who really didn't have a lot in his resume, but he played various soldiers in Metroid Prime 3. That's actually the credit that was on IMDb.
Good for him.
And he played Felix Faust, Parallax, and Ultra Humanite in DC Universe Online. They're all like C-tier DC villains.
Gotcha.
So the end credits, I think, might have been my favorite part of the show, and not just because it was over.
Because it had the little chocobo.
Yeah, it's like all these rainbow chocobo sprites running around. They're pretty cute.
I'm a fan of chocobo.
Yeah, me too. The song was fine. Here's a little bit of it. And then after the credits, Fabula gives us a prophecy of the future, which is her way of saying, here's a preview of the next episode.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's a pretty interesting gimmick for the previews.
Sure. Just her lording down on us from her magic clam.
I'm being generous.
Okay.
Now we have to talk about the dub.
Oh, I forgot that was the thing.
It has the same theme song, so there's no need to play it again. I will not. I refuse. So it was dubbed by ADV Films, who also dubbed the Sonic OVA and the Tekken OVA. They released it on May 1st, 2003, straight to DVD.
Good.
The acting is pretty terrible, honestly. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm pretty sure they had real children playing the kids. And it's very noticeable that it's real children playing the kids.
Oh, it's not like endearing.
No, it's not endearing. It just sounds like they're reading lines emotionlessly.
So hey sis, aren't you even scared?
We're going to look for Mom and Dad, you know. There's no time to be scared right now.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
I didn't really notice any major changes though. The biggest change I noticed is that when that crystal gets dropped, Lisa doesn't say that she thinks it's a bomb. She just says that can't be good. But, you know, that's a very small change.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no real script changes, no visual edits that I noticed. That's it. That's all I've got to say about the dub.
Okay, that was painless.
Yeah.
Unlike the show.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like a painless dub is a small consolation when the original Japanese show was as painful as this one.
So, like, is this just an OVA? Are there episodes?
No, it's a TV show.
That's what I thought. But when you said it was released straight to DVD, I got confused about how many episodes.
In English, it was released straight to DVD.
How many episodes are there?
There was supposed to be 52, but it got cancelled at 25.
That's 25 too many.
Yeah. But that meant that the show was left unfinished. The story was left unfinished. So it's this confusing and it doesn't even have a conclusion.
I am kind of fascinated. If it wasn't so bad, I might want to watch the whole show just to see if I can ever understand anything.
I don't know about the whole show, but I do want to watch more just to see, yeah, like you said, just to see if it becomes understandable at some point. But
yeah,
at this point, it sure isn't. And this, I think, is... I've talked about this with you before, but I don't think I've ever talked about it on the show. I think this is a symptom of a real misunderstanding of what made Final Fantasy VII good. Because Final Fantasy VII is quite confusing in the beginning, but then all the pieces come together and then you understand what's happening and you get it. And I think that the game is so popular because once you do understand everything that's happening, the plot is really good. I have said to you before, like, for a long time I thought Final Fantasy VII was really overrated, but then when I finally finished it, I was kind of like, yeah, that was a masterpiece, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I had to accept that it wasn't overrated. It is a genuinely really good story, but you have to get to that end point where you understand it.
Right.
But I think, and I put the blame for this on Uematsu, but I don't know if it's actually his fault. Is it? No, not Uematsu, that's the music guy. Who am I thinking of? Nomura. I put the blame for this on Nomura, but I don't know if it's actually his fault or not. But I think it was... I think that whoever's fault it is thought that the reason the game was popular was because it was confusing.
Right.
And I think everything that Square have made since has just endeavored to be as confusing as possible, thinking that people love that, because that's what it's been. And I think it does come from Final Fantasy VII, because I haven't played 8, but I know that 8 is so confusing that people have no idea what happens.
I do know that about 8, where like people think it's a dream sequence, and
people think that only like the first disc is real, and then the rest of it is the dying dream of the main character or something.
Right.
Because they don't because you can't explain what happens. That's the whole thing. You cannot explain what happens, so people have to come up with these theories to explain it. And as far as I'm aware,
now I kind of want to play 8.
What I know about 8, spoilers for anybody who wants to play it and hasn't, but at the end of one of the discs, I think it's at the end of a disc, the main character is run through with a sword, and then it just cuts to black, and then in the next scene he's up and about, and it's never mentioned again. So
he got better. Somebody used cure on him.
But it's the same, like Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry, loads of people have told me that they understand what's happening in Kingdom Hearts, and they're all liars. I don't.
They don't. Nobody understands Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, I think Final Fantasy IX is probably the last Final Fantasy that had a coherent story. Because I think it was the last one that was written by the original guy before he left. And then ever since then, every single one, to my knowledge, my limited knowledge, admittedly, but it seems like they have just lent further and further into deliberately making things confusing. And that's exactly what I think they've done with this show as well.
That's good writing. Keep the people guessing. Keep them scared.
So that's my hot take on Final Fantasy. Don't make a lick of sense. Yeah, I think my favorite thing about this show was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the music.
I don't know that I even noticed it outside of the Final Fantasy parts.
I noticed the background music during when the mushroom first showed up, and I liked it.
Okay.
見てる。やばいよあいつ。僕たちを襲うつもり。多分ね。
But yeah, mostly I noticed the Chocobo theme.
And the beginning, where it had a little bit of the Final Fantasy theme.
Yeah, that was a good half a second. Yeah, not a good first episode. What I've written here is that it's confusing at best and boring at worst. But that's pretty much how I feel about everything Square have done since the PS2 launched. But yeah, I would be willing to watch more and see if it picks up.
See if it ever makes a single lick of sense.
Yeah. But, you know, there's a question that you haven't needed to ask me in a while.
This thing has a legacy?
This thing has a legacy.
Why?
So, because the show ended midway, leaving the story unfinished, Square released a series of light novels, manga, and audio dramas, fleshing out and wrapping up the plot.
I need to watch somebody's deep dive on this.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of those things were released only in Japan, so...
There's gotta be one person. There's gotta be one crazy YouTuber.
There's gotta be. Should we look it up right now?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Unlimited. Well, the show itself is all on here, it looks like. If you want to watch the show,
Thank goodness.
It's all on YouTube. There's the soundtrack. I'm not seeing any actual like YouTube essays or anything. No.
Is Final Fantasy Unlimited worth it?
I don't know.
That's what I found.
Oh.
GR Anime Review, Final Fantasy Unlimited, The Forgotten Anime Rabbit Hole.
Did you add like review or something to the search? Because
I said breakdown.
Oh, okay.
So I found a couple videos with just like 1,000 views each.
Yeah, I'm not really finding much. I found a video called The Worst Final Fantasy, but I don't know if it's about this.
I found that one too, but it's unclear.
Yeah. Oh no, this video is about Final Fantasy Union, it looks like.
Is that the mobile
I
game?
think so. Yeah, well, I don't know. We need Barry Kramer to... No, I wouldn't wish that on him.
He's a busy man. He doesn't have time to be watching this garbage.
I can't believe he learned so much about Kingdom Hearts as he did, but I love his videos about it.
They're my favorite piece of Kingdom Hearts media.
The Barry Kramer Kingdom Hearts explainer video is the best way to experience Kingdom Hearts.
Agree.
Like, don't play the game, just watch that video. You'll get everything you need out of the game, but you'll be less confused. No, you'll be equally as confused, but you'll get some laughs, which you won't get from the games.
Kingdom Hearts is sure a series, because I think I was 11 when it first came out, and I was so hyped for that game, and then I didn't get to play 2 for like 10 years, because I didn't have a PlayStation 2 anymore. And then by the time 3 came out and there were like 15 million side stories that got progressively more confusing, I didn't care about that series at all anymore.
Yeah. And there's like Japan-only mobile games that you have to play to understand the plot of the next main game.
Right. I forgot I played Dream Drop Distance, and I had no idea what happened.
Dream Drop Distance is the most recent one I've played, but I have played all of them up until Dream Drop Distance.
I'm sorry.
We streamed them. Me and Joe.
I remember.
We streamed them together.
Yeah.
We planned to finish all of them and play Kingdom Hearts 3, but then he moved away. We haven't played it in a long time.
What a loser.
Yeah. He needs to come back.
Get his stuff.
Everybody send messages for Joe in the Discord. He's in there. Tag him. Tell him to come back and finish Kingdom Hearts.
We need to know. It'll make sense in the end, right?
I don't know. It's not over yet. Kingdom Hearts 4 isn't out yet.
No, I didn't know there was a 4th.
Oh, have you not seen the trailer?
No.
Sora's in the real world now. He became a real boy.
That. But like I said, my interest in that series is completely gone.
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3, so I don't know, but from context that I've picked up, I believe it turns out that everything that happened in Kingdom Hearts up until now has been fictional, And then Sora comes out into the real world and he's in Tokyo at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's where Kingdom Hearts 4 picks up.
Like, that's the shit.
I think Kingdom Hearts is like the connection between all fictional worlds or something.
Okay.
So somebody said to me at one point that something in Kingdom Hearts 3 means that every fictional thing ever written is canon to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, no.
yeah. Does that mean Rance is in there?
Yep. That means every horrible thing that you've ever seen or read is in Kingdom Hearts.
I don't think that Sora would have a good time in the Rance world.
No. I don't think anyone would but Rance.
Oh. Anyway, are we done? I think we finished.
Please.
Sorry, Final Fantasy Unlimited fans. Or both of you. Because you know they're going to be listening to this. Because it's not like there's a lot of Final Fantasy Unlimited content for them to consume.
I don't think this show has fans. I think Final Fantasy has fans, but this show, no.
There's one person out there whose favorite show is Final Fantasy Unlimited. You know there is.
You know, I'm normally the first person to say that this dumb, weird show, it's somebody's favorite show, but this one, no.
You don't know.
Pretty confident about
You
that.
don't know what happens. Maybe it picks up.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Once again, I would like to thank the Weird Freaks who support our show. Mark Kelly, Jamie Core, and Natalie No. Thank you all.
Weirdos.
And the Mesmeron, who looms over us, trying to find the power pellet forest in our show somewhere. Eugene Lattig.
Even though it's right there, Eugene. Why can't you see it?
we haven't hidden it in any way.
It's just a forest. And you're like so tall, you should be able to see it.
I'm Skull Pirate Mike, and you can... Oh, wait. If you'd like to join the Weird Freaks, or the Mesmeron. By the way, as the Mesmeron, you get to command us to cover certain episodes. Does that make us the Ghost Monsters?
I was just about to ask.
I guess it does.
I guess it does.
So if there's anything that you'd like us to cover, and you're at the Mesmeron tier on our Patreon, then we'll do that, and you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub. You can join it as a free member too. There's stuff we do for free sometimes, but most of it you have to at least be putting something in, I think. I don't remember exactly how it's set up. There's outtakes from the show on there, and there's bonus episodes on there. That's it.
Cool.
I'm Skull Pirate Mike, and you can find me on the internet. I stream, and I do other things. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Twitch. That's it. That's it, really. Got anything to say?
I'm Mel. I'm about to board this train at midnight 13 seconds past. And don't come looking for me.
Bye. What if I play this recording back and it makes as little sense as the show did?
It will.
Well, I guess it will, because we're describing the show. Yeah. Okay.
That's how it works.